Good morning, Martin. Thank you
Hi,
for
Anne. How are you?
thank you for being with us this morning. I know that you are very busy, and we appreciate you taking time out of your schedule to join us. And especially with such an important topic, I know a lot of people are going to be interested in what you have to say about the different financial options out there. So you have 10 minutes, and I'll just leave you to it. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anne. So I'm just going to take you through some of the options available. You'll probably be already aware through your own bank of the emergency overdraft and payment plans that are available. So I'm just going to talk about the SBCI funding that's been announced, Microfinance Ireland's increased offering, and some alternative options that may be available to you. So just to bear in mind that with the SBCI funding, there's three banks that are approved for the COVID schemes. They are AIB, Bank of Ireland, and Ulster Bank. So when you get your SBCI approval, you can only go to one of those three banks. But just bear in mind, you're not tied to one where you are already an account holder. You can go to one of the others, even if your account is with another bank. And just in relation to the documentation required, it will be slightly different between everyone, but typically you will be looking to provide 2 to 3 years certified accounts, your most up-to-date management accounts, 6 to 12 months bank statements, and statements are a listing of any other borrowings that you have. So just to bear that in mind. Some of the schemes will require you to prepare a business plan, others do not. So just check that and the small print in the application process. So just to start off, I'm going to go through the three SBCI funding options that were announced for COVID-19. They're the Working Capital Scheme, the Credit Guarantee Scheme, and the Future Growth Loan Scheme. So in relation to the COVID-19 Working Capital Scheme, the loan amounts range from 25,000 to up to 1.5 million. The term applicable can be up to 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years. That's dependent purely on the purpose of the request. That'll be assessed jointly with your bank when you're going in with the approval letter. The facility is unsecured up to $500,000. Now, the important thing to bear in mind with this scheme is that there has to be an innovation of your business, no matter how small. That'll be covered off in your SBCI application process, and also will be under discussion with your bank. And you will require a business plan regardless of the amount for this facility. Now, just one thing to bear in mind, some of your banks will be already booked out for this. However, the actual borrowings at this point in time are quite low, so there may be still opportunities even if you find out that the facilities have been booked in full. Just going on to the SME Credit Guarantee Scheme. The new scheme is an updated version of an existing scheme that's in operation for some time. The terms applicable are 3 months to 6 years, and the minimum amount is 10,000, going up to a maximum of 1 million. Now, the new scheme requires government legislation to be enacted to be put in place, but the old scheme is still in existence. It is essentially where a facility has been rejected by your bank in the first instance. It is quite restrictive and is mainly in relation to not having sufficient collateral security. But it is a great option where you have a very strong business idea, but the bank cannot get it over the line in the initial instance based on some of their own criteria. So it is a good second option. There is a small premium on the interest rate of 0.5% on the current policy. That will be adjusted in the updated scheme when that's enacted. The Future Growth Loan Scheme is probably the most flexible of them. It's about to come in force, and again, it's an updated version of one that has been in operation in the past. The minimum amount is 100k, and it goes up to 3 million per participant. The terms, again, very long-term loan in that it's between 8 and 10 years. Interest rate is very good at 4.5% for amounts under 250,000 and 3.5% for amounts over that. Very wide range of purposes in this instance. Usually they're for business improvements or expansion, but it's quite wide, covering a wide area. There are interest-only options available, so you can inquire about those when you're having that discussion with your institution. It is unsecured, and there's no business plan required up to $500,000. So again, very flexible. in the application and putting in place. Now, I'm just going to move on to the Microfinance Ireland. The amounts have been increased. The existing facility was a 3-year facility with a maximum of 25,000. That has been increased because of the situation we're in, up to a maximum of 50,000. The loan amount minimum is 5,000 up to the new maximum. And bear in mind, the first 6 months of this has 0 interest and no repayments, but you still have to repay the loan within the 3-year period. Interest rates are 4.5%. It's a preferential interest rate to local enterprise office clients. And also, I would encourage you to look at going through the local enterprise office if you are going down the Microfinance Ireland loan route, because there is a lot of, it's a long application process, it's quite detailed, and Leo will put a mentor in touch with you to help you through that process if you so wish. So it's a very good source of support in that instance, and I would encourage you to look at that route rather than going directly. Now, the eligibility for this is minimum of is less than 10 employees and a turnover of less than 2 million. Just some alternative options that are available to you. Rather than using up cash resources if you have to make some capital spend in your business to get open again. So you should look at a finance lease in relation to upgrading any equipment or furnishings for your premises. Typical terms are 3 to 5 years, and it's a convenient way of taking out a facility to upgrade without using up a lot of your own cash. There are many providers, both privately funded and supported by the SBCI. So there's lots of options there in relation to interest rate and terms and conditions. Another option for businesses that get most of their income through their credit card terminal, there's a merchant services loan available, and it can be repaid conveniently from your terminal turnover. And the final one I will mention here is your peer-to-peer loans. I'm thinking in this instance, the likes of Linked Finance or Flender. The terms start at 3 months, going up to 3 years. Interest rates are varying, but the benefit here would be the speed of response is the main positive in this instance. There's a very quick turnaround in most cases. So I just have some of my details, my contact details up on the screen. Feel free to ask any questions in the question and answer session, or contact me in any of my social media or email or phone and mobile phone number there if you wish to discuss privately any situation that you'd like. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much for that, Martin. That was a very good roundup of the financial supports available. Thank you for participating today.
Thank you very much, Anne.